Post. Pin. Oh, hello. I'm live, aren't I? Hope everyone's having a good week. Thanks for tuning in to our weekly Fashion Bites chat. I'm Hillary, founder of the Fashion Bites platform, here to support and nurture creative entrepreneurs, filling in the gap between education and what happens in real life. This is our way to connect, collaborate, and share. And it looks like the lovely Michelle is online. Let's get her on. Also, remember to join us weekly, but if you've missed the chat, they're available on IGTV for you to enjoy. Hello.
Hello, my darling. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you very much. I am very good.
Yeah, relax. It'll be fine.
It's going to be good. It's going to be lovely. Can you hear me okay?
Oh, yeah. Hear you, see you. We're good. We are good.
Perfect.
Super excited to have Michelle Noel with us today. Welcome, Michelle.
Thank you very much.
Please tell us a bit about yourself.
Okay, so yes, so my name is Michelle Noel, and I have my own consultancy, which is 3.5 years old. And basically, what I do, I work with brands across different disciplines to help them primarily with their sales management, but also to act as a bit of a conduit between sometimes the designers and the buyers and the market out there. So that's my principal role. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Excellent.
You're welcome.
So let's just dive in, shall we?
Yes.
Um, Chat to us, please, about going from a fine art painting degree, I believe,
Yes.
to interiors to then fashion.
Well, to kind of keep it nice and short and sweet. So I've always loved the arts. I've always loved drawing and painting. I've been doing that since I was a very young child, but I've also loved fashion as well. So from school, I decided to go to art school. So I got a place at actually firstly at Camberwell to do my foundation, and then Central St Martin's to do my degree in fine art painting. Whilst I was there, being a student, of course, everyone needs to work. And I happened to get a job working. Where was I actually? I think I was working for a shoe company, and then I ended up working at Brown's on South Molton Street, working, Saturdays part time and then full time. And then an opportunity came up to assist the owner's daughter in helping her buying for what was then Brown's Living. So I kind of fell into that position and I literally was green. I had no idea what I was doing at all, but I knew that I loved it. There was something about it, and I really liked to explore what was happening behind the scenes of this crazy fashion world that we were in. And so I ended up going on my very first buying trip at the age of 2021.
Okay.
And I was like, I quite like what's going on here. And then from there, I was there for a couple of years. Then I moved on to, I think, working for an interiors company for, again, a couple of years based in Chelsea. And then I went to Paris. That was my time to kind of just to rethink about what I wanted to do. Came back home and then ended up working in primarily in sort of accessory brands, clothing accessories or clothing brands, and just
Okay.
sort of navigated my way through retail selling, then through to wholesale. So that's where I really cut my teeth with
Okay.
wholesale. And
Okay.
I was very fortunate to be given a huge opportunity working for Ali Capolino. So I actually sent her my CV totally blind. I was like, oh, by the way, this is who I am. What are your plans for maybe homeware or ding, ding, ding? And she said, well, actually, we are looking for a wholesale and a retail manager. So the
Wow.
timing was just right. So I ended up working with her for many years and to really help build her international sort of wholesale business. So we started off as being a small group of us within the company, which then
Mhm.
evolved. And yeah, so it just kind of happened from there. So from working
Okay.
at Ali Capolino to then another brand, Universal Works, they're fantastic. I then decided that now, at that point, that was the time for me to go for it, make that
Oh,
risk and start up my own consultancy. Over the years,
right.
I'd realized that I had so many people asking, oh, do you know what? I have this brand. Do you know where I could sell it to? I've got this product. Do you know where I could sell it to? And in my
Hmm.
head, I'm just thinking, yeah. Da, 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 da. So I
Right.
thought maybe I could actually just use the skill and the experience and the network that I built up over the years and actually help other brands, maybe some smaller brands, more independent brands that might just need a little bit of support, maybe in the
Right.
short term or long term. And I just did it and I just started. Ah,
Amazing. Amazing. How are you finding it being a business owner? Because that's a huge leap.
it is a massive, massive leap. Enormous, enormous. And but for me, I felt ready. I had this feeling in my gut that now was the time to make that risk, to actually take that jump and go for it. Um,
Okay.
of course, over the years, I've learned that I could have done things a little bit more differently. But I think being a business owner, any kind of business, of course it's going to be very, very tough, and you need to budget, you need to time manage. You also need to think about pitching to new clients. You need to navigate your head around website, this, that, and the other. And especially for me, because I work by myself and then I go and work with various clients, so I have to
Right.
think about how much work I can actually do and how much I can do effectively. There's no
Yes.
point in me saying yes, 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 yes to absolutely everything, and then I fail to deliver, and I feel disappointed in myself, but also for my clients.
Right.
So I think also being a business owner, it's learning the power to say no and to not feeling awful about it, because what you're doing, you're making those right decisions. So it can be very tough, but it also can be very rewarding. I like it.
Excellent. Excellent. Excellent.
Well,
Excellent.
it's
So your
hard.
work is it mainly B2B or is it B2C or a combination?
It's ABC. It's
Okay.
B2B, B2C, whoever needs that kind of that kind of support, whether it's B2B, I do it. And for me, the most important thing is just being able to communicate and to connect with the designer, what they're making, and their audience, whether it is going to be the other sort of the business audience or be the international buyers and so forth,
Right.
or actually their, sort of end consumer. Um,
Okay.
so yeah, but primarily it has been more sort of B2B for now.
Okay. Okay. So tell us a little bit more about what being a brand representative entail. What does that look like?
So it looks like basically you are trying to promote or to sell someone's designs, their work
Hmm.
in the best way that you can.
Okay.
So it could mean even just down to the very basics of contacting someone, calling someone, emailing someone, or literally, being at a trade show as it was before what's happening at the moment, and actually introducing the brand to new people, talking to people about what this product is.
Okay.
Um, so it could be just, doing those big Excel spreadsheets or whatever it may be, or literally standing in front of somebody and holding that product either on you or putting a jacket on or something and showing someone, to the buyer or whoever it is, this is what I'm representing. This is
Okay.
it. Isn't it fabulous? Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a lot of that going on. But yeah, but that really is what it is. It's being able to show the audience, to show the buyers that this brand or this product has integrity, or the team behind it has integrity. It is beautiful. It's something that I think you would like. Um, and also for the brands, for them to feel confident in me, in what I'm saying. So they feel they trust me, they trust my judgment.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's great. And you mentioned trade shows. Let's forget about the current situation for just a tick.
Yeah.
Uh, so you did trade shows anywhere specifically? Was it just the UK or internationally or?
It was both. It was both, but
Okay.
I would say the majority of the trade shows that I would do were
Mhm,
international. So primarily sort of Paris Fashion Week,
mhm,
Milan Fashion Week, Copenhagen Fashion Week, New York. So those are the main ones that I did over the years. I remember very early on in my career, when the economy was very different, it was really booming, and we were busy. Like we were really, really busy. So I remember there was one year, and we ended up doing perhaps 12 trade shows that year.
wow.
Yes. So it can be, yeah, exactly. So yeah, it could be very, very intense, a lot of hard work. You're working multiple days back to back, you're tired, but yeah, so it was it was hard, it was very enjoyable, it was great, and I've met some fantastic people over the years via these
Mhm.
trade shows, and they're really good friends and good collaborators, sorry, to this day. But yeah.
Okay. Okay. Um, so do you mainly work with startups or someone that's a little bit more established?
I've done both. I've done both with,
Okay.
with my own consultancy practice, one or two startups, but I do like to work with, brands that have, probably had a few, seasons or a few years kind of under their wings, and they just want to kind of push it to the next level. So, but working with startups, I'm more than happy to do that because I totally understand we all have to start from somewhere,
Exactly.
and sometimes you just need that kind of you need someone to hold your hand a little bit and actually
Hmm.
just to say it's okay, don't worry, we can actually do this, don't worry, it's going to be a little bit scary for you, but it's worthwhile because blah 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 blah. So
Right.
for that, I really don't mind at all.
Right. Right. We've had a question come in from Moisture Clothing. What types of brands do you work with?
So far I've worked with clothing brands,
Mhm.
unisex brands, men's brands, women's. I've also worked with a fine jeweler. I've worked with a
Mhm.
lifestyle magazine, worked for a shoe
Okay.
brand as well, and also a few accessory brands, so sort of handbags primarily, that kind of thing.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah.
No, that's great because I was thinking as well that although you work across the board, you would also need to make sure they're not competitors. You're
Yes.
because that could be a bit tricky.
That could, yeah, exactly. So that could be quite tricky. Luckily, so far, I've been fortunate enough that I've been able to grow my business organically.
Mhm.
So being able to work with brands, and I absolutely love their products, but there are some variations as well.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, that's been uh,
Okay. Okay.
that's been important for
What
me.
what would help you decide? I know you get to know the product, but what would
Yeah.
actually help you decide to take on a brand as a client?
Um, do you know what? Uh, I've kind of I rely on my gut instincts a lot.
Okay.
So there isn't any exact science to it. I mean, of course, if I can see that there is something that is commercially viable about them, or really it's about their DNA. And also,
Okay.
if I like it, if I know that there's something about that brand I can wear myself or I
Right.
understand it, that
Mhm.
helps me make that decision as to whether I want to work with them or I want to actually pitch to them. And
Right.
that's how it's worked so far. So yes.
Do you advise on branding at all?
I have done. I have done because
Okay.
sometimes that's also quite integral to, the end product. So
Mhm.
absolutely. I think it's important to encompass all of these things, because whether it's going to be the branding, the size scale, all of these things, it's important to the end product. So
Yeah.
yes, if I think that it is actually necessary, I'll absolutely do it. Yeah.
Okay. And
Mm.
would you add social media to that too?
Yes, yes. I mean,
Okay.
I would. I mean, to be fair,
Yeah.
that's not particularly my strength,
Okay.
but where I can help, or maybe even say, do you know what? I know of somebody else who is really savvy at this. Why don't I introduce
Mhm.
you guys together? That's what I love to do is actually connect people, connect to the
Right.
right people as well. So if there's something that's out of my remit, I'm totally open to saying, you know what, this is part of what I do is actually sort of extending the network to actually help your brand. So I'm happy to kind of step back, open the door for someone to come in, you could then take it further. So there we go.
Yeah, yeah, perfect, perfect. So another service that you provide is market research.
Yeah,
Um, and this is obviously quite important in helping
yeah,
a business steer them in the right direction in their overall strategy. Have you
yeah.
had an instance where you needed to steer a client to a completely different direction to what they initially thought was right for them?
Yeah, I've definitely done that.
Okay.
I mean, I've had a few sort of raised eyebrows with some of the suggestions that I've made.
Mhm.
And I'm just thinking, okay, well, let's just try it. You know, I'm not saying you have to commit to it 100%, but let's give it a go. And this is the reason why I'm suggesting this to you. So,
Mhm.
yeah, there have been one or two instances where, my clients have been like, girl, no way. No. But I'm like, you know what? Okay, listen, just like hear me out. Let's just try it. Let's just, actually see it. But I do think that it is worth sometimes um, for brands to sometimes take a little bit of a maverick kind of risk,
Mhm.
and just kind of test it. And I feel that more brands, more companies are probably doing that now more than ever.
Yeah.
We have to adapt in a quite a radical way, I think.
Mhm.
So let's just go for it. There's no harm. There can be, but it's a calculated risk. But let's try.
Calculated risk always.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think I think your job is quite interesting, simply because you have a broad range of different
Yeah.
clients, which means
Yeah.
you have to be on top of what's going on in the industry
Yeah.
constantly. That's
Yes.
right.
Yeah,
Wealth of
that
knowledge.
is right. Yeah. No, it is right. I mean, it's something personally I've always been keen to learn about all different types of things anyway, and just to read up on, you know, even if it's just, various publications, from the Financial Times to The Economist to Grazia to, so many things.
Yes.
And uh and even just looking at other industries as well, looking at different types of innovations.
Mhm.
I like it. So I know that maybe by gathering that kind of a whole array of information, something's going to stay in my head and it may actually be of a useful reference to somebody else. So so yeah, I think it's important to broaden your spectrum, even though primarily my work is in the fashion industry. But for me, it is really, really, really important to look at other industries. And even if I don't really understand it that well, maybe just kind of educate myself on that. And also to look at other cultures outside of the fashion culture, you know,
Yes.
because you never know, there could be something from engineering that could be really useful for a client who's maybe thinking about doing something. So I think it
Mhm.
is important to always just be inquisitive and just to
Yes.
kind of keep your ears and eyes open, even to really strange little things, quirky things. Why not, So I do think it's
Yeah.
important. So it's important for me. I need to do that, but I enjoy doing it personally, so it's kind of easier, I would say.
Yeah. And it makes your job, fun, literally. Um,
Yeah, it does. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tell us about the educational programs that you create.
Yeah. So I've been working at it's actually a French business school and it's their London campus, which is in
Mhm.
Marylebone. So a very good friend of mine, Nana Okran, she invited me a couple of years ago to come in as a guest speaker to actually talk about my career path, which I
Right.
did. And actually, she asked me twice. And then I was introduced to the director of the campus, and she said, "Well, actually, we've had quite a few students who have been asking about, the fashion industry and the behind the scene things. How does it all work? Could you put together maybe a summer program?" And I said, "Okay, let's try this." So I did, and yeah, the students liked it, so I was asked to come back. So I've been doing that sort of like on an ad hoc basis for a couple of years now. So whereby I go in and I talk to the students, and we do put together kind of a program about maybe luxury retail industries or creative industries behind the scenes. Many of the students who are coming over from France, they're only here in London for maybe a term, so 3 months. So I want to be able to focus a bit more on the UK industries and London in particular whilst they're here, and just give them a bit of an insight into fashion or publishing, or even like the UK wine industry. Like, it's a whole mixed bag, but just to give them
Right.
an understanding of the power of the economy that is generated here in the UK. So it's good. And also I learn from them. I learn from the students as well. I mean, they're amazing. They're funny. They're engaging sometimes, especially the ones that are always at the back of the class who are doing what they shouldn't be doing. So yeah,
Naturally, being themselves.
exactly, being themselves. So yeah, so it is. So yeah, so that's what I've been doing. I've
Okay.
been invited to do a few kind of like panel discussions.
Mhm.
Most recently with Fashion Roundtable. So that was really,
Yeah.
really good. So that
Yes,
was,
I read that there was an all-party parliamentary group
yeah,
roundtable.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah,
How
exactly,
was that?
exactly. Successful, I think. Yeah, I think that was really good. I mean, yeah, I mean, there are so many different organizations and so forth. Everyone's sort of trying to do something at the moment, what's happening, politically and so forth. So, but I think teaching for me is always something that's kind of been at the back of my mind since I was actually a kid.
Hmm.
So I think doing what I'm doing at the moment, I'm just thinking maybe I should actually develop that a lot more. I just think it's important for a new generation, for young people, to be exposed to learning about different things, but also to
Yeah.
see someone teaching them who looks like me. And I think
Right.
that's important.
Right.
Yes.
And I was thinking that with you being one of the advisors for Fashion Roundtable and the conversation about inclusion,
Mm.
I wanted to ask what's been your experience within the fashion industry?
It's a shame you only have half an hour. But um, my experience, I mean, in the main has been positive,
Okay.
because I think I'm just of that kind of nature where I don't give up that quickly. So I'm just
Mhm.
thinking, okay, if I'm going to do something, I want to get ahead and do it. However, yes, um, there have been some negative experiences, over the years, which haven't been particularly pleasant.
Okay.
Experiences of being looked over for particular roles or whatever, simply because I'm the only black person in the room or whatever it may be, and it. It's sometimes it could be, most times it's very subtle, other times it can be
Hmm.
very overt, and it's very difficult to deal with that on a day-to-day basis when you're trying to do your work and
Right.
not knowing or not being able to voice your distress or voice your opinion when you know that something is not quite right. It's very difficult to kind of keep and to retain that and to keep it inside, because you can't share that with anyone else that's in the room,
Hmm.
because they may sort of dismiss what you're saying. They may accuse you of being oversensitive. They may put this label on you or this label on you. So having to manage yourself in those situations is very, very hard. It's very, very hard indeed. And you just have to do it.
Yeah.
You just have to get along. And it shouldn't be the way. And that's why I think what's happening right now is it's so poignant. It really, really is. And now is a time for everybody. to no longer accept being treated differently because of the color of your skin, or being labeled blah, blah, blah because of the color of your skin. I cannot stand it. And I think it is so important to not feel that pressure of, oh my gosh, you know what, maybe if I say something, it might harm my career. If I say something, I might get dismissed. If I say something, I might not get that promotion. No, say it.
Right.
Say it.
Yes.
It's something that I have to keep on saying to myself. It's something I say to my friends, to my nieces. One is like 13, 14, the other one is 20. And I have to tell them and remind them, and I need to show them. I need to show them that it is okay to stand up for yourself and to speak up and to have absolutely zero fear of going anywhere. If you want to go into Chanel, go. Don't worry that maybe it's not right for me. Maybe they're going to look at me. That's someone else's issue. It's not yours.
Yeah.
So wherever you want to go, go. Whatever you want to read, read. Whatever you want to listen to, listen to. Whatever industry you want to go into, do it. You may be the only Black person in that space at that time, and it will be tough, but do it anyway. Try.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. How have you managed to pivot or adapt during this time and still help your clients?
Well,
How has that been for you?
it's been really tough because of course,
Mhm.
contracts that you had or things that you planned to do, all of those plans just fell into a black hole.
Mm.
They
Mm.
just went, especially in the first months of the pandemic and of the quarantine here. So that was very, very difficult. That was really, really, really hard. Just thinking, wow, how am I going to adapt to this? What's going to happen now? How are my clients? How are they coping?
Yeah.
So there was definitely a lot of uncertainty. But I think with time, having a pause, having a forced stop in a sense, I think it's just
Yes.
helped. Yeah, I think it's just actually helped everyone to think, what do I really need from that person, or what can I really do for them? Because everything is changing. The whole the retail landscape, everything is really shifted. So
Mhm.
now I'm in the process of speaking with former clients and potentially new ones, just to see how they are doing. Are they
Mhm.
fine? What new ideas do they have? So again, it's back to the drawing board, doing a lot of new research, looking at different platforms they could use, etc., etc. Looking at also trade shows and what's happening there, as so many are maybe partnering, big like the big trade shows are partnering together, or
Mhm.
it's going to be digital. So how is that working? What is it going to be like? So I'm just
Yeah.
now just trying to gather as much information as I can actually for that new crop of clients that are going to come, all the clients who will come back now they've kind of recovered themselves. And let's
Right.
let's go. Let's see what we can actually do together. How can we shift it and how can we make it work?
No, that's wonderful. And I was thinking as well to ask, maybe going forward, is there an opportunity for your brands to collaborate since they're so different? I mean, potential pop-up shop or some kind of collaboration in future.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm always thinking about it. I'm always thinking, oh, how can I get those guys to work together? But I think now that, I
Yeah.
mean, I think, maybe like in the next 3 to 6 months, there could be some really interesting opportunities. So I'm just going to kind of keep all my four eyes on it, and I'm going to see what's going to happen. But yeah, there's always scope. There's always room for collaboration and to make something new and fresh.
Yes.
So
Yes.
yeah,
Yes. Absolutely. Oh, that went really quick now, didn't it? That's
that is super quick.
did it. Oh,
That's
thank you
incredible.
so much. Thank you so much for spending time with us today. Thank
Oh
you.
my gosh, you are more than welcome. It has been great. It's just so nice to see your face. It's great. No,
You
but
too.
yeah, but it's been really, really great. And thank you so much for inviting me. I'm so happy to have this conversation with you. And yeah, thank you. It's been brilliant.
No, no
And it's been
worries.
so
Thank you
quick.
so much. Thank you. Um,
Thank you.
thanks, guys, for tuning in. Join us again next week, which is Fashion Week. Let's see how that goes. We'll be back at a special time at 5. Our guest will be Ade Hassan, founder of Nubian Skin, the lingerie brand redefining the meaning of nude. Until then, thank you very much. Bye. Bye.